Now that you're in contract, it's important to understand the costs associated with either buying or selling real estate in New York. When a buyer pays cash, closing costs commonly include title searches, title insurance, recording fees, New York State mansion tax if the sale price exceeds $1 million, and any credits that may be owed to the seller for property taxes or maintenance fees paid prior to closing. When a buyer is obtaining a loan, New York State imposes a tax on the amount borrowed. Let's review estimated closing costs based on a hypothetical sale of a single-family residential home located in Westchester County with a purchase price of $600,000 where the buyer is obtaining a loan for $500,000. First, there are costs associated with obtaining a loan to purchase the property. While the final costs will vary depending upon the lender, we usually recommend adding about 1 to 1.5% of the loan amount to estimate its costs. Typical loan costs include underwriting and processing fees, an appraisal, escrows for property taxes or maintenance, prepaid interest, homeowners and mortgage insurance, and the lender's attorney fee. Next, we always recommend a buyer obtain a title report to review the legal status of title to real estate as well as the purchase of title insurance to insure against claims associated with any possible defects that may arise after closing. Overall, a one-time title insurance premium is about 0.4% of the purchase price, so, for a $600,000 home, the premium will cost the buyer about $2,460. In addition, the buyer's lender will require the buyer to obtain a title insurance policy to protect the lender's interest. In this scenario, this will add about $650 to the buyer's costs. Other costs associated with title include additional policy endorsements, search fees, county recording filing fees, and any escrow fees associated with a title company holding in paying property taxes to the appropriate municipality. In New York, the state imposes a tax on buyers who borrow money in order to purchase real estate. The amount of the tax depends upon the county in which the property is located. For example, for real estate within the 5 boroughs of New York City, the mortgage tax is 1.8% on loans of less than $500,000 and 1.925% on loans in excess of $500,000. Outside New York City, the average mortgage tax is approximately 1%. Using our example, the mortgage tax for a home in Westchester County would equal $6,500. Within New York City, the mortgage tax for the same $500,000 loan would be $9,000. When the purchase price exceeds $1 million, New York also imposes what's called a mansion tax, which is based on a sliding scale. Based on our example of buying a piece of property for $600,000 for which the buyer is obtaining a loan of $500,000, here are the approximate closing costs. As you can see, closing costs quickly add up. In this scenario, the buyer's closing costs add an additional 3% to the purchase price, or approximately $18,070. On the other hand, a seller's closing costs consist of considerably less fees. Moreover, a seller's costs are usually paid from the contract deposit the seller's attorney holds in escrow until closing, so that a seller never has to write a check out of their own funds to pay for any closing costs. In New York, it's customary for the seller to pay the real property transfer tax imposed by the state. The tax is $2 for every $500 of consideration, although the easiest way to calculate the final figure is to simply divide the purchase price by 1,000 and then multiply by 4. Using the same example involving the sale of a single-family home for $600,000, the transfer tax due at closing would equal $2,400. Other than the transfer tax, the seller will almost always owe the buyer a $500 credit in lieu of the seller providing the buyer with a property condition disclosure statement. We hope this video provided you with some insight as to what both buyers and sellers can expect to pay for closing costs in a typical residential transaction in New York. Of course, when a sale includes either a condominium or a cooperative apartment, the costs incurred will be slightly different, so, if you want a better idea of what to expect, please call or email our office and we'll be happy to walk you through it.